regular meeting to order. Please stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic. You may be seated. All right. Revision and approval of the regular and consent agenda. Are there any changes or revisions to the regular or consent agendas?
I do have one revision. I need to remove the Vicky Coffee Food Services Consultant Retainer out of the consent agenda that you're getting ready to approve and make it a regular agenda item D.
Okay.
Let me review the consent agenda real quick one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen has everyone seen the cash flows? Because they weren't prior to this. Okay.
They were linked in the regular.
If they are, okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to look at it, but that's fine. It's okay. Okay, I'm good with whatever you guys want to do.
You're good. Are you good, Holly? Okay. So we need a motion to accept the changes and revisions to the regular and consent agendas.
Move to approve the regular and consent agendas and the changes as amended.
I'll second.
Wade made the motion to accept the regular and consent agenda as revised. Lee seconded that. All those in favor? Thank you. Okay. Recognitions and information. South Putnam SFA. Yes.
I don't have a clicker or control of that. Does somebody have, Aaron, you got it? Do you have a clicker?
What is this?
You are, please. So we have just a few things that we're gonna share. We're kind of gonna fly through this because I think you guys will probably have access to it again later if you want to review any of the stats. But we got a few awards for the program and for lots of individual students and things over the last year. And so admin asked us to come on out, but here's just a couple of pictures. So many of you guys know we've worked together for a long time. We've done a lot of things with a lot of kids, and really at the heart of that is hands-on experience at every level. So middle school, high school, some of them are graduates, adding a fourth advisor, all the hands-on things. Good. One of the coolest things that Dr. Smith and Mrs. Gardner came down to celebrate with us is we were awarded the NAAE Outstanding Program for, I don't remember the whole title of the thing. Outstanding Program at the middle school, high school level. It has a more complete name than that. But that's for Region 4, so that's the highest award that you can earn as a program, and that's a nationwide ag teacher organization. And so those are the states that are involved in Region 4, and so we were basically ranked best in the Midwest. That's what we like to say.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Something that I think is more cool He's gonna share about.
Yeah, so National FA has what we call Premier Chapter. So this is an application that our students fill out. So we gather our outgoing officer team and our new officer team. So it is about a 25-page application that our students fill out. So we actually lock them in a room over here or over in the fax room, and they can't leave until that application is done. And it's everything that we do in a year within our chapter. So if you follow us on social media, you know that we are highly active, and everything that we do is planned by our students, which we're really excited for, because sometimes advisors do this application, but our officers do it and they do it well. So we are recognized as a top 10 chapter in our state first. So that's what that trophy is. We call it an Indiana Big Ten chapter. So that means we're top 10 in Indiana. We were also awarded a 3-star chapter at the national level, and it's out of 3 stars. It's only the second time in school history that we've been able to accomplish that. And again, written by our students. And then a piece of that application was pulled out to be a premier finalist in is it environmental?
Building communities, environmental.
There's
something.
Another big title for that. So you can see in the picture, Stone and Molly actually got to present what we did here with the removal of the invasive tree species out front in front of the national stage. So if you guys have met Stone, not a little guy. So that stage, you can just see how big that stage was. And it was really cool to see them get to present that in front of a panel of judges, and then get to share what we do here at South Putnam on the national level was a really cool opportunity for us. And especially as advisors, getting to see them write that application and get to present that in front of them and show what we do here was pretty special for us.
These are just some other things that we've done. So we've hosted a student teacher last fall from Oklahoma State, and also we have one right now from Purdue University. And we actually was that last night?
Yeah.
We got an email last night from Purdue University to ask us to host us another student teacher next year, and then some of the boards and things beyond South Putnam that we're involved in. We won't bore you with all of the details, but we do a lot of things outside of that so we can bring those skills and knowledge and networking back to South Putnam.
Sure. So what we do, and this is kind of what my focus has been on in the classroom, is like partnering our students within our community, because that's important. As someone who graduated from South Putnam, our community is special. And so what we have done is we have given every student in our program an SAE, which is a project that they can do with either a person or in the community, or their own farm at home, something that's agriculturally related that gives them career skills. And so it's very important to us that we train these people to not only our students not only to be leaders, but to be servants within their community. And so partnerships, we have strong partnerships. We have people who show up to help our students with our contests. While there are 3 of us, there are way more people and who help us each and every single day, especially people who are in this room who help us all the time. We really want to focus on workforce readiness and as well. Above all, I teach every single freshman in the building, and we try to make sure that they leave with a career on the line, whether that be they're going to college or they're going into the workforce. That's important to us as we support CTE here in the building as well.
I want to point out one cool thing that she did. So she said she has all the freshmen and she had all of them do these SAE projects. One of our kids wants to be a lawyer, and so with his SAE project, he actually got a couple days, or at least a day, that he went and shadowed a lawyer in Greencastle. So that's kind of an example of some of the connections that we're making, and she did that with all roughly 90 of our freshman kiddos.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. We've been working with admin, so we don't sit still long or well ever, but we've been working with admin to figure out some things that we can do in the future, and one of them is working with them on scheduling and some of the opportunities that our kids could have that can not only help them in their career paths or their college paths, but also to help our school. It's everything at the state level is always changing, and I'm sure you guys have seen a lot with the diplomas. And so some of those pieces, I think we're going to be able to help check boxes and things for guidance and for our students that are graduating with this new diploma. So we've talked about making some pathways here that are kind of similar to career center type pathways where they've got blocks of scheduling where they've got 2 or 3 ag classes in a row. And we've got lots of kids doing dual credit and getting some of those higher ed so they can get the I don't remember what they'd call that pathway, but so they can get some of the other pathways to graduation. And then we've been working on getting some grants, and we actually got an email like what 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago.
Cam just got a grant for
It was 3,000 for more tools for the shop, so for engines, and a few new engines, so we can compete in the FFA engines contest because we haven't been able to do that with the current engines that we have. So
but
it's pretty cool.
completing lots of grants and securing funding and creating those opportunities for kids.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
think that was the last thing. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you guys have questions, we're happy to answer.
Nice.
Oh,
You're
I
good.
like the you stretched out for the county plan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Anytime.
Okay, financial update, Dr. Smith.
Besides the info you received just earlier tonight at the annual financial meeting, in your board package, you have the latest financial reports through the end of the month of December. Some of those came in a little later than normal because we're a week ahead of time, so apologize for that. But that did include our claim dockets, our payrolls, our cash flows, transfers, and fund reports. We will continue to monitor, just keep it on our radar proactively, all the impacts from current legislation, and then they're now in legislative session again, so we will, me and Dr. Penrod will continue to monitor that and make adjustments as needed.
Legislative report or update, Wade.
Okay, as we know, we're in the midst of this year's legislative short session. The session did start a couple weeks early this year to discuss the bill to redistrict Indiana's congressional boundaries. And so due to that early start, legislators are planning on having the session wrapped up by February 27th instead of March 14th. And with the shortened session, there'll be fewer bills likely to become law as a result of the shortened period of time. So by next week, bills have to get out of the House of Origin to be alive in the bill process. And of the 700 bills that have been filed, 73 of those deal with education and are being tracked by ISBA. And one particular bill that it seems like we keep reading about that's getting a lot of attention. Senate Bill 78 passed out of the committee 10-0. It expands on the previous no cell phone or other personal devices during instructional time during the school day. The bill expands the restriction to during the entire school day, so not even like during passing periods or lunch, anything. So main exception, of course, is if they're used for medical purposes. So if that passes, that's one of many policies on the matter that we'll have to revisit once again.
Okay. Thank you, Wade.
Thank you, Wade.
Project update. Do we have a project update?
I can give you one. It's the field house is really the last piece. We're on the final punch list items. It's now utilized heavily. As soon as we said go, that space was full early in the morning till late at night. Even over the weekend, the first available weekend was pretty much packed out. It was neat to see. So that's going on. There will be some things that are going to be weather dependent. So some of the things aren't going to be finished up on the roof and around the roof. You'll see some things that aren't quite finished yet. A lot of that's not going to happen until the weather gets a little bit better. So we should have final completion on that March, April, depending on the weather. And then other than that, we should be able to wrap up that project. And on another note, we had big meetings today through the RFP process. Dr. Penrod and I hosted a meeting for architectural design firms for the upcoming projects. So we had a walkthrough today and discussions, and the RFPs are due here not too long, and we'll make a decision on the design firm, and we'll start that process all over again. So very exciting times.
I know there was a little bit of outgassing of new equipment or fumes or something like that in the new area. I trust you guys took care of that somehow.
That has been riveting.
Mitigated that.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, it's
Anybody
the unexpected things. It's like, what? Who would have thought, right?
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 6, and that is public comment. We do have some people who would like to speak. As a reminder, first of all, we appreciate people coming in to talk to us. We don't know unless we hear, from boots on the ground. So we appreciate those who've signed up to talk. As a reminder, though, by policy, we have it at this time in our agenda. And by policy, each speaker may speak for 3 minutes. And we can't answer your question, which is really uncomfortable for us, just so you know, because we all just kind of sit here and nod and just know that we appreciate what you're saying, but we can't respond, and that's also by policy. So Holly will time for 3 minutes. I think, did I
And
cover everything?
Our policy also states they need to state who they are and
Oh,
their
yes,
affiliation.
because I'm
with-
looking at it right here.
Make
So
sure that they're within our district.
I will call your names. Apologies ahead of time for mispronouncing anybody's name. And we are supposed to, by policy, have your address. So nobody put their address on here. So if you would just state your address, I'll just jot it down very quickly. Okay, are we good? John Scomp.
I'm John Scout.
I know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that guy. I live at 5860 Ridge Hill Way, Avon, Indiana. Not in district, but I'm blessed to be able to send my kids to this wonderful school
Thank
district.
you.
I want to talk in support of Lori. She's got some stuff she's going to be presenting later. So I'm not going to say too much about that, but I just wanted to say from my experience as a staff member and director of safety here, the current food service provider, Chartwells, does not always follow our procedures, no matter how many times we ask them to do so. And then also, Laura and I have talked a little bit, but it doesn't make sense to me because right now our participation is going down. So we'll go with that later, which means kids don't prefer it, and they're charging us more. So I personally wouldn't pay more for an inferior product. And then as a parent, my kids last year loved eating lunch here. They don't so much anymore, and when they do, I make sure I pack a snack because they always come home hungry. So that is what I have to say, and thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, Monica Ballinger.
Start after they say their name and address, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make
I'm Monica Ballinger. I live at 1503 Lakeview Road, Greencastle.
Lakeview Road.
I'm a staff member here. I'm a custodian on first shift. I am in support of what Lori is going to be presenting. As a first shift custodian, I have eaten through the program, through the school program, and through Chartwells. The quality of food has went down drastically. The kids throw away, and I see this because we're in the cafeteria to take care of the messes, trash, and we see a lot of food go in the trash, uneaten, untouched, and the portions have gone down, flavor has gone down, and a lot of it just looks inedible. And from last year's football team to this year's football team, they wouldn't eat the extras, and that says a lot. I know it is like, we'd see them all like just eat everything, and then like this year they didn't want anything to do with it. So hopefully things can be resolved and that these kids will actually get food that nourishes them and fills them up. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kendall Wakeling.
My name is Kendall Wakeling. I live at 6911 West County Road, 875 South.
Thank you.
I know it's a really wordy one. I'm sorry. And that's in Reelsville.
Okay.
I'm a parent, and my son is currently a fifth grader at Central Elementary. We moved here from Clay Community 3 years ago, and I have never known my child to be so excited for school food until he moved to South Putt. He ate every single day, would come home and tell me how great it was. I was never too picky myself. I went and tried it, and it was mind blowing with the options. He would come home and tell me what he ate. I said, "You won't eat that when I cook it." And he ate constantly, to the point the other day, knowing this was an option to come and talk tonight, I went into his Link Connect account, and he has 26 pages in just the 3 years that we've been enrolled here of his transactional history. 23 or 22 of the 21 of those 23 were from a year and a half ago. So we've only filled 2 pages worth of transactions in our account, and that is Pizza Fridays and when we have Alfredo chicken. So now I pack lunches, which is not convenient for me, but I'm going to make sure my child eats. He complains constantly on how about inedible the food is. Mom, I can't get butter for my roll anymore. And my child likes his butter. He's not perfect, but I do know that's been a complication. There's no seasoning being able to be added. There's no flavor. The kids are wasting the food. I mean, I challenge any of you. I'll happily have lunch with you one day for you to see. There is so much waste. And these kids, a lot of them, this is their only hot meal a day they get. And if it's not edible or something that is nutritiously filling enough for them, I feel that's where we're doing them injustice. And everything is very repetitive. The same menu every month, the same vegetables every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yes, kids are creatures of habit, but you've got to give them a little more variety. And visually, the food is not appealing. They're wasting so much. They're not interested. And I believe Central alone is probably about 25% down in student participation at lunch. I mean, the staff cheers when someone picks something that's on the menu that no one else picks up. So this is something that I really feel strongly about. And I promised my son that if mom can talk and try to stand up for you, she's going to do it. So I would love to see a change because he was so excited for school lunches at our new school. And he's not happy now at all. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Candy Nichols.
My daughter signed up too, and she's a little nervous to stand up here. Can she come up as well while I'm standing here? No?
Yes, that's totally fine.
Okay. Candy Nichols. It's 114 South Bloomington Street, and that's Greencastle, Indiana. Of course, for address is the same. So I would just encourage the board as well to look at the food service. Like everybody else has said, the flavor has declined. I get reports back from her pretty much every day telling me how she won't eat anything. We have decided we've basically started bringing lunch as soon as when we can. It is not convenient for me or her to have to pack it. She's driving now, so she has to rely on getting everything ready for herself in the morning to pack while I'm not there. So if she doesn't bring something, then she's left with the options that we have here at school. She's even brought in seasoning before, and I did encourage her. It's probably not the best idea to put it in a baggie, but she wants some kind of flavor to be able to eat what she's getting provided, and it's not good options. It may look good on paper because it seems like there's a lot of options, but that every option there is just not halfway edible, really. She used to get an extra entree a lot of times when it was something that she really liked. She hasn't done that since we've switched over at all. And I think she can speak better to it than me because I'm not seeing it. I'm just getting her reports. So.
Well, like she said, I got extras, and that was for the Asian chicken. That was my favorite thing. And since we switched over, I don't really like it. Every time we have rice in any of the food, it's always like hard and the portions are small. It doesn't have any flavor. Like the first time we got mashed potatoes, I took a video of it because when I went to take a spoon and when they scooped it, it crumbled. So I just didn't eat that. And then today we had pancake balls, 2 sausage patties, and a hash brown. And I don't like sausage. That's just my problem. So I didn't eat those. The pancake balls, when I picked one of them up, those also crumbled. So I didn't eat those. So all I had today was a hash brown. yeah, it's really good.
I'm paying for her meal here, but then when she decides to, but then I'm also feeding her when she gets home because she eats a whole meal as soon as she gets home because she's starving. So we'd like just encourage to look at the food service. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Kirsten Nichols?
It's okay.
Oh,
You just-
sorry.
Yep.
Gotcha. Ashley Crady.
Okay, my name is Ashley Crady. I live at 6137 US Highway 40, and that's a Fillmore address there. Again, just here to support Lori and the food service. I did work for Central Elementary 2 years ago before I left to work at the Parks Department. Not have that doesn't have anything to do with Chartwells, but I do know what it was like being firsthand helping create the menu, or not create the menu, but create the food daily and seeing the difference and hearing the difference. I have 3 children in South Putnam District. I have one at Central, a 3rd grader, a 6th grader at the middle school, and a freshman at the high school. My freshman is in multiple sports, so he's here sometimes 6:30 in the morning until 6:30 in the evening, and not a fan of the food. He, especially the sides, he gets pizza almost every day because it's the only thing he likes. 2 slices of pizza. It's costing me like $6 a day for 2 slices of pizza he doesn't like. And he'll eat fruits and vegetables at home, so it's obviously not just, he can be picky. I can understand kids are picky. But my daughter as well, she has complained multiple times about not being allowed to have butter or sour cream with her taco, things that they were offered in the past that are no longer being offered. Sorry, I'm really nervous. And I've also worked with Chartwells through the park with Greencastle. I know it doesn't really affect us, but I will say it's the same there. It's not just, our staff here is great. I've worked with them firsthand. It's not a preparation issue. It's a quality issue though, from where they're ordering. The menus that they're creating are repetitive. Every week is basically the same thing, rotating every 2 to 3 weeks. And my kids are just wanting something different, new. When Lori was creating the menus, if something didn't work after a couple times of offering it, she tried something new. She was always creating new things. I know one that my kids loved was the Mexican. She made like an arroz con pollo. So she was able to just kind of cater to what may be popular with the kids in the day. And so, yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you all very, very much. I know that takes a lot of nerve sometimes to get up in front of all of us, but I do appreciate your time. We all appreciate your time in coming. Okay, so new business. Dr. Smith. Oh, well, consideration of termination of the food service contract.
Yeah. So we'll start out having a very brief little presentation that I put together for Lori and I. I'm going to go through that, and then Lori will be available for questions as we go through as in the consideration of this action. So first of all, it's just very brief. Yeah, you can go and change it. So just brief history lesson. A year ago is when we enacted Chartwells into our food service management company, and as things go, new relationships, things start out, and things usually are pretty good. And then we learn things as we go along. And as we got more data, that was the first semester or the last semester of last year. Then we get into this semester, and we started gathering data, right? And you can't make decisions without the data. And so, and we just see this repetitive, and it just lately we just got more and more information, especially Lori got more and more information, and then that was shared with me, and here we are today. So a couple things is, and we knew going into this, I'm going to get a little brief history. We knew going into this, the food service management company is more expensive than in-house. We knew that going in. We just knew at that particular time, it looked as though that was going to be the best course of action for us. And we justified all of that through that process. But we learned some things over that time. And so Lori came to me in December, and we started discussing this. And we put together this plan. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to be fiscally stewards of the money that students and families are paying, and we want to make sure we have that. So we want to do that, and it also is going to eliminate having management fees that we're paying to the management company. So that'll allow us to do some more things with the money we do bring in. Also, obviously, you've heard it over and over, is we want to increase that student experience. Along with that too, there have been a few staff members say that as well, as far as the quality and freshness and portion sizes and availability. And then last but not least is the local control piece, as we can control, Lori can control those menus and make adjustments, as many of the patrons who spoke tonight mentioned. Second, working with the state, Lori's been working directly with the DOE and sharing a lot of this information throughout the time. And so they have agreed with us that there has been a quality and consistency issue. There's been definitely menu repetition, and the responsiveness to Lori's concerns has been limited. Just use those words. And just some data, just some brief things. All this is in your packet, by the way. This is a summation of everything that's already in your packet that we gave you. Our participation is down in breakfast, so we do serve 2 meals a day. So breakfast numbers are down. These are the hard numbers from before, when we were self-op, August through November, and then when we used our food service management company. So comparing.
That's for all our buildings, right? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, for the entire thing. Yes. So our breakfast numbers are down 400 meals, and then our lunches are down 2,000 meals in the same time period comparison. So that's hard numbers, which obviously it relates to lost revenue as well for the program. And some specific call outs that we saw is our milk cost alone, in comparison of what we can get through our local procurement versus what we're getting in our contract, is right now estimated about $8,600. That's just for the milk in savings to the program.
Wow.
So obviously in all of this, there's lots of different solutions. We can look for other companies, we can do other things, but Lori said she is more than willing to take on this as a self-operation because all the benefits that it does provide, and the ability to make adjustments and pivot when things need to be changed. So being a self-op, we're going to be financially transparent. We are audited by the State Board of Accounts through all of that, and so we are very transparent in that. Like I said, it allows us to be agile and control everything, and also allows that community feedback piece, which we got a piece of that tonight. And as moving forward, you're not voting on this tonight. This is just kind of the direction we're heading, but it is we're going to work on and improve a lot of things with our recruitment and retention of staff, and look for obviously our local recruitment, retain our kitchen managers, and then transition away from using temp agencies, which is what we're getting now as temporary employees. And then we're going to increase the culture and training. Lori has some great ideas on how we're going to increase that and the certifications of our kitchen staff, and then work on some benefits to improve retention as well. And that's what we will look at in February as we get that whole package together for you. So basically, 4 main goals that we have is: 1, fiscal health of the program. Want to increase and recover, at least recover, if not exceed where we were before in our participation. Want to be make sure the program is very stable, and also want to increase the infrastructure. Lori has ideas how we're going to implement some of the things that we were using before that was very successful. And so we just want to make sure, as a path forward, we want to make sure we have high quality meals for our kids. We want to make sure we're very good stewards of the monies that families are paying, and then that the community enjoys the food that we are creating for them. So with that, we are recommending that you approve that 60-day notice of termination so that we can move forward with the next step of the plan. So with that, I will leave it to Lori for any questions you may have.
So it's clear at this point that there's a clear desire and clear need to do something other than what we're doing now. Right? There's no question there. Something needs to change. So two major topics for me to think about as a school board member are, how can this be self-managed on our current budget, as we know that funds are seemingly shrinking and getting constraints up with funding, like everything, costs go up and the funds go down, right? But most importantly, regardless of cost and any of those details, we changed the chart wells for a reason, or several reasons, and we're now being asked to approve canceling that and going back to another, way of managing that. So I just want to be sure that as we're going forward, we are thinking about all those reasons we changed in the first place, and think about, how will those original issues be resolved this time, and then any other new issues that were created by having chart wells in the first place. So, and just for clarification, we're just looking at the cancellation. We're not looking at some of the other things you shared with us in the packet that are all in that folder.
That was just foreshadowing what
Okay.
we'll bring into the February meeting.
Yes, just being clear.
Your first question.
I didn't. I just you can comment. I'm just saying.
Well,
just want to be sure that we're being mindful of those things going forward, because those are in February. Those are the questions we're going to be asking. More of those style questions. It's just those are the things I'll be thinking about.
well, I will say that when we were self-op, we were able to sustain ourselves. I would have 3 years in a row, I had to do a spin down plan for the state because we had too much money. So I had to look at ways to spend that money. Now that is not the case. And it is my projection that my personal opinion, professional opinion, if we continue down this path, we will have to dig ourselves out of a big hole. Sullivan County Schools were left with a $440,000 bill from a company, and the school had to dig its way out. I know another school that the state finally got a contracted company out. The contracted company came in the middle of the night, took all the equipment, left the school with nothing. And I don't want to see that happen here. South Putnam is a good school, great people, and I don't see that happen.
So I have, when we did the transition to Chartwells, all the time it took and all the paperwork that went through the state to get the state approval, were they not specifically approving the Chartwells at that point in time? They did. But now they're saying that, yeah, maybe
Based
you
on
should.
Not to cut you off.
No,
but
that's okay.
No, based on the data that we've been able to provide, yeah, they've that's what I had in that one slide that I
Right,
provided.
but is that just for us, or is it?
That's the only
mean,
data we can
I guess
share.
that's the only. Yeah, I guess that's right. Okay.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I answered her question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, my opinion is when we did that, we thought we were doing the best thing, right? We were led to believe that that would be better options for our kids, yada, yada.
Right.
But if that's not what we ended up with, I mean, I've always been a fan of home cooked meals anyway, because when I first started working here, we had farm wives that came in and cooked, and that was some good food. And I realize times have changed. But so what you're saying is the kids can have more options, better quality food, and bigger portions than
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
they're getting now
Absolutely.
at a savings.
Yes. Click Co-op that we were a member of before, their prices are lower. And they have a board of directors within their co-op. They are constantly looking for clean label food, dye-free food. They are a phenomenal group of directors that the co-op continually grows. And there's a network within that co-op that is just phenomenal for schools. And it would be a great addition to the school to go back to them. That's
Is
who
that
we
the
were with.
click?
Yes, that's who
later
we
on?
were with before. And they want us back. They loved the school. They loved working with me. Not to boast about myself, but they're like, we want you back.
We have other options as well, like other co-ops, or is
Co-ops.
that just like, is it,
Um,
are we kind of like just limited to one, or?
Schools, you're very limited, like, foreign food service is not really an option because they normally, I think it's called HPS. They're mainly in hospitals and you have to have like certain buying power with them. So like GFS, you have to have at least a $750 order to go to a school. So Fillmore, as small as they would have to have a truck come in with at least $750, like $350. And it's very easy.
I'm just wondering if Chartwell's had options that we don't have.
A lot of companies don't like to deal with schools because of the USDA. Your commodity, they don't like to bid out because we used to be with West Central, in Greencastle, and that dissolves. It just, there's not, and to procure your own, you don't get the buying power. And this co-op, they have hundreds of schools and it's big and their pricing is lower than Chartwell's. So that says a lot. Or, Chartwell's said that they had big buying power.
Is that co-op at any risk of also dissolving at some point in time, or maybe food prices, aren't as good as they are now? Or what I'm saying is, are there other options beside that co-op if you had to go outside of that co-op, or I'm just making sure that,
Right.
and it's everybody's got to provide school food, so we'll get it someplace, I understand, but just if you're using that as some piece of justification, I just want to know what the risk is with that. But it sounds like there's options.
There's always options, but I will say that one with them, you get a rebate. There's no cost to join. And just for the 6 months that we were with them, we got over $3,000 back in a rebate.
So that would be what we saw then would be comparable now.
Yes.
Which would be a similar rebate.
Yes.
Similar structure.
Yes. You get quarterly.
Everything in the kitchen belongs to us. They're not.
Everything.
Okay.
Can you, if we cancel Chartwell's, one of the advantages, right, at the time was their staffing, because we were, staffing is always an issue in several areas here. And so how, I don't know, how is that going to change very much if we go to a self-operated
No,
system?
I've been trying to think outside of the box on staffing. I would like to work with Mr. Standers with his life skills class. He does have students that would be more than happy to work in the cafeteria. I'd like to reach out to Putnam County Comprehensive Services and have, people come in to help work. I'll reach out to grandmas, parents, I would like to have flexible schedules. If, people could work, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and, you've got a mom, well, I'm off work on my full-time job. I could come in on Tuesday. I would like to have that flexible schedule to help with staffing issues. Cause everybody's got staffing issues, and Chartwell's right now, they have a bad staffing issue. I've been working in the kitchens unpaid because I want to make sure our kids get fed. So I'm kind of working for Chartwell's, helping out in the kitchens.
Yeah. So is that something, I know we pay our students for lifeguarding. And I know Area 30 does the food safe, whatever that certification is. Is that something that we could work in even or consider?
With students?
Yeah.
Yes.
To work with Area 30 and some, I don't know how that would all work. I don't even know.
Yeah, if students would want to work in the cafeteria, that's absolutely they can. And they would be paid.
I did a really random survey in a short amount of time. Last night there were kids going in the ball game, so I just stop a few and say, "Hey, do you eat school lunch?" The one I love, I said, "Well, what do you think?"
I didn't want to tell you. I thought you were going to say your grandkids. You said
so no, I can't go by that because they don't eat a school lunch. So, but I did talk to people. I talked to employees here that monitor the kids at the middle school anyway, and the high school. And yeah, but yeah, just to get that perspective, which was eye-opening.
We had one admin talk to this. We had opinions from the other admin, other principals, building principals. Have you talked to any of them?
Are there building principals here who would like to comment?
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
I do know that our kids do not eat as much as they used to. And then share cards, even though we have a share card, people love to get it unless it's like bananas or something like that, but not food that is made.
Not survey the kids officially, similar to what Lisa's done. I've asked kids. I've heard some kids okay, but a lot of kids are concerned about it. I think there's been a consensus that they were excited at the beginning because they kind of like the idea that there was a line that had predictable items on it, and then there was a line that had some new items, and that felt kind of fun. But they have been disappointed with the quality of the food that they get on their plate, and they've lost interest in it, and so there's been an overall concern. And as far as working with Lori before, I've always had great experiences working with Lori, and I've attended a lot of board meetings when she would come in and say, "I just won this grant, and I've got this new piece of equipment for the kitchen," or "I've tried out this new menu item." And she just always had a lot of joy when she would bring things in and have a table out, and have food items out for kids to try. And I just have always appreciated her work ethic and her passion for kids.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we take a motion? Make a motion? Anybody?
I move to approve the termination of the food service management contract.
I'll second it.
Lee made the motion to approve the termination of the food service management contract. Wei seconded that. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of tag, Dr. Smith.
Yep. Tonight we're just seeking approval of the 25-26 tag grant, so we can award the funds to the qualified teacher applicants. Upon approval, the administrative team will finalize the selection process and of the applicants they already applied, and send in the names of the recipients to the state, along with qualified amounts by the end of the January deadline, so that we have to get that in by the end of January. And then once the state gets those names and everything, they will then send us the grant funds, and then a couple of months later we will pay them. So it's a long drawn out process, but we have to get it done and approved by or get those names to them by the end of January. So this is the first year of this new tag structure. It's not perfect. We did we took a lot of ideas from a lot of different districts and a lot of different superintendents and the state DOE guidelines and put this together. I think it worked out quite well for us, and we had several applicants for the new tag grants. So we'll continue to tweak it based on whether the legislation make changes now during this legislative session and what we learned through the process this time for next year. So we just need tonight. We just need a approval of what is in your packets, and we will get those qualified people to the state.
So that what was in our packet, the 3 levels, was that mandated by the state, or was that the structure?
That was the structure by the state.
Okay.
Yes. By the legislation.
And then you just kind of filled in as far as what the procedures were to follow that. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
But schools could opt for just the lower level also, from what I understand. But,
I think by the state, yes. We just took those guidelines. It was pretty much a consensus from the districts that I worked with and on the superintendent call every Friday, that we just took those guidelines as the state put those together and use that as the guidance for the first year. That doesn't mean we can't make tweaks moving forward.
And this sunsets at the end of that, 2026 umbrella, correct? Like, or would we keep this moving forward?
That I don't have the answer to that. They'll make. I'm sure they're going to make tweaks to it.
When
They
legislative.
didn't fully fund
Right,
it anyway, so.
right.
Well, imagine that. Can
They
any
won't keep
elementary
from changing
teachers,
it.
can elementary teachers even receive the highest tier?
Why couldn't they?
Because they can't reach the criteria to my knowledge. Is that,
That was the criteria that's set by state in the legislation, though. So that argument, you can talk to your legislature.
Yeah.
Hey, at that meeting you go to,
gotta work that day.
I'll go for you. Give me lobby for you.
I like your perspective, Wade, because you do have that unique perspective on the board.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes, I do.
Existing
That,
elementary teacher. What's that mean for our elementary teachers?
It was set to fail. Hopefully something will be done in this legislative session to tweak it.
And in what you've heard by keeping them all at the lower level, does it?
It can allow more to receive it.
further,
Yeah,
yeah.
to spread the money out so more can receive the grant if you stayed at a lower tier and don't offer the top two, because it's such a select group that can even receive that top tier.
but can you?
How many teachers applied for that? Out of
What was the total number? 10,
and out of how many people?
76, 78.
Why that's pretty low participation.
There's a grant application process. It's just like any other grant
Right.
application.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's-
they just chose not to do it.
Chose not to do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can't do anything about changing this, but I'm not reading that tier 3 is not being able to. An elementary teacher couldn't get it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, maybe. I mean, are those things that you could change, or is that the part of
We took the state's guidance as it was given to
right?
us.
Can you add to it or
You can make
redefine it
you
or
can make you
define
can
it
make
any way you want?
local area adjustments. Put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so right now we're just approving what has already been done so that we can get the grants.
So we can get for those
Yeah.
that applied for the grant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We good? Okay. Motion.
I move to approve the teacher appreciation grant.
Second.
I made the motion to approve the teacher appreciation grant. Joe seconded that. All those in favor? Thank you. Consideration of KLIC cooperative contract.
Yep. So this now comes into play because of item A was passed. So to do that, we need to get, as we move away from the food service management company, we need to join the cooperative that Lori was talking about. And we needed to do that soon so that we can get that process rolling. And as we get things going, she can start the ordering process and so forth. So like I said, Lori obviously did extensive research in that area. And we're just recommending tonight that we join the KLIC cooperative to facilitate the next steps.
Questions?
I think most of my questions, she answered.
I move to approve the KLIC cooperative contract.
I'll second.
Holly made the motion to approve the KLIC cooperative contract. Lee seconded that. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. This is the added item D. Consideration of the Vicky Coffee food service consultant retainer. Sorry.
Yeah. So as part of this process, Lori's done, like I said, extensive research and so forth. And Vicky Coffee is a very well-known, trusted food service consultant. And we are seeking the advice and counsel from her as we facilitate and transfer back to that self-operated food services. She has a lot of ideas on to make that smooth and also on that employee retention and hiring process as well. So we're just we want to bring her on and pay her retainer to do that. And that's all in your packets.
And so this is just for the initial retainer and not one of the, um, 3,500 or 5,000,
Laura, can you speak to this one? Can you answer this question? Sorry.
because there were a lot of prices in there. I'm trying to, which one are we, which one are
Right,
you approving
yeah.
here?
And I'm assuming
Yeah.
that would depend on
How much, yeah.
how everything
I'll let
shakes
her
out.
answer this question, yes.
Mhm.
So question is, Joe, do you want to restate that?
Yeah, just, in our information, we saw lots of different prices.
Right.
And I'm asking, is this just for the initial retainer?
Yes.
Or is this for some contract or something specific? Because there were like a $3,500 price, and there's like a $5,000 price for something. What are we actually agreeing to at this moment in time? It wasn't clear.
Just the retainer, and Vicki would like to come and speak next board meeting with our proposal with the staffing issues and the recommendation of the $3,500 with her mentorship.
And how long do we need her?
I would just say a year, just
It's for the transition.
yes, yeah.
And where does she live? Because it looks like we have to pay for her travel expenses as well.
No, Richland Bean Blossom, a lot of it's going to be virtual. Well, not all of it. She's on site. I think it says 72 hours, and I will be going to her.
We pay
But
your
expenses, she wouldn't stay here. She would, her and I had that discussion. It's 40, she's Richland Bean Blossom area. It's like a 45-minute drive.
It's the same rate. I think, I was trying to pull it up and I can't get it to come up, but, it was the same rate, either way, whether it was virtual or on site, and it was the difference of the travel expense.
Right.
I know we pay your travel expense as well. So one way or the other, we're gonna pay some of that.
Yeah.
And we need her because of staffing issues. I mean, you did a fine job without her in the past.
I just feel like right now with the transition, I would like a little bit of, she's been doing this for 30 years. And that was one thing that I was struggling with was staffing issues. And I just felt alone. And directors, we network. And I reached out to her not too long ago. And I'm like, this is going on, that the staffing is a problem. She goes, and she doesn't have that problem. And she said, let me work with you and I will show you, ways to retain employees. She has wonderful ideas. Her employees love her. And I want to get that kind of relationship with employees for South Putnam. And I just honestly feel that her mentorship would be a benefit.
And does that resolve some of the concerns that we had when we went to Chartwell's in
Yes.
the first place?
Yes. And with going to Chartwell's, because that's the unknown, Chartwell's, they say they don't have staffing issues and they do. So, staffing issues is just something. Vicki loves people, and I honestly believe she will help me have that mental attitude to help me retain.
I think it's going to come down to what you're going to pay your people. What does she pay her people? That may be why she doesn't have a staffing issue.
I think they're pretty comparable to what we are right now.
So again, what you're asking for is, just the retainer, and, what I'm hearing is probably no more than a year, if we continue, right? Seems like a minimal cost.
What are we looking at total though? Like if you're going to have her for a year, like what's that?
But is that a decision for later?
Yes.
So in other words, this just holds our spot with her.
Right.
And then like next month when you present what
We'll have a
it'll look
better
like
understanding, yes.
with self-operation, and then will we be voting then again on how much to use her or how many hours we can allow for her to help?
Yes, we'll have all that projected.
Okay, so this is just, sorry if I'm repeating it again.
No, you're fine.
But this is just to get our foot in her door.
And the retainer is?
Retainer's 500.
Minimum. It's like,
Yeah.
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 We good?
I move
Motion.
to approve the Vicky Coffee retainer.
I'll second it.
Lee made the motion to approve the Vicky Coffee retainer. Wade seconded
Thank you.
that. All those in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Lori. All right. No other business. Superintendent's report. Dr.
I'll be brief. We went long tonight. So, didn't know if you knew this or not, but January is School Board Appreciation Month. So I just wanted to take a moment and publicly thank the dedication here of our board members for your service and dedication to South Putnam Community School. So thank you for all the work and time you put into all that and reading all my notes and all the things. So thanks a lot for that. And we got pie, so it's all good.
That's really good. Yeah.
Monday, January 19th, MLK Day. This is just information. I wanted to make sure it's getting out there. It's a Teacher Professional Development Day only. Students will not be in session that day, and they won't have e-learning. So students and families, you can enjoy the 3-day break coming up. So teachers, sorry, you will have to be here on Monday. Second semester is off to an amazing start. Lots of activity, like I was alluded to earlier in the construction report, but there's lots of activity here day, night, all the weekends. There's a lot of neat activity and excitement going on at South Putnam right now. Neat to see the brand new facility already fully utilized. It's neat. Last not least for tonight is Dr. Penrod. Mrs. Gardner and I, we met with several of the architectural design firms earlier this afternoon to discuss the scope of this upcoming project and all the RFP process that's involved in that. So we're really excited to get that going. So other than that, I have nothing else tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I was asked to see if Tuesday, since there's a big game on Monday, if there could be a 2-hour delay. Just thought I was told to ask.
As of now, it's not being considered.
Oh, is that a motion? Is that a motion?
I don't know. I mean, take what it's worth.
We do have a student going to state on
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
Haley Williams.
Nice.
That's right.
New girls wrestling
Yes.
program. Haley is going to state junior, so
That's exciting.
a camp walk for her tomorrow. They start so early, so
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you
reminding
for
us of
that.
that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. All right. If there